How did cursed child's time travel cause major paradoxes? Imagine stepping into a world where changing the past can completely rewrite your future. That's exactly what happens in the play Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. The story introduces a new way of time travel that's very different from what we saw in the earlier Harry Potter books. In the original series, the Time Turner was a small device that let characters go back in time but didn't allow them to change anything. It was a fixed timeline where everything that happened was already set. But in the Cursed Child, the Time Turner is more powerful and flexible. It lets characters actively change events in the past, which then impacts the future in unpredictable ways. This creates a lot of problems called paradoxes. One big issue is the difference between a fixed timeline and a dynamic one. In the earlier books, time travel was like a closed loop. If you went back in time, you were part of the story already. Your actions couldn't change what had already happened. But in the Cursed Child, the characters can change past events, which means the timeline is no longer fixed. When they do something in the past, it rewrites what happens in the future. This leads to situations where characters can erase themselves or others from existence. For example, if they turn Cedric Diggory into a Death Eater or cause Neville Longbottom's death, it can lead to Harry Potter dying in that altered timeline. If Harry dies, then his son Albus, who exists because Harry is alive, could be erased from existence. That's a classic paradox called the grandfather paradox. Another problem is that the Time Turner used in the play doesn't have a way to return to the original time easily. In the earlier stories, characters could go back and then come back to their own time. But here, they have to wait in the past until the timeline catches up with their departure point. This creates overlapping timelines, where the past and present can conflict. Sometimes, the changes in the past happen only after the characters try to return, which makes the timeline unstable. You might see characters still existing even after their actions in the past have erased them. This causes confusion and contradictions. The story also suggests that traveling to the past creates new alternate timelines or branches. When characters go back and change things, they are creating a new reality separate from the original. But these alternate timelines are often unstable. When the experimental Time Turner is destroyed, these different realities can collapse or merge back together. This leads to more paradoxes, where characters, existence, and histories fluctuate depending on which timeline is dominant at the moment. Finally, the time travel rules in the Cursed Child conflict with the simpler rules from the original series. In the earlier books, time travel was carefully controlled to avoid paradoxes. It was clear that the past couldn't be changed without causing problems. But in the play, the more flexible approach introduces these major paradoxes. It makes the whole idea of changing the past much messier and more unpredictable. So, in the end, the way time travel works in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child causes big paradoxes because it allows characters to actively change the past, which then rewrites the future. This leads to characters erasing themselves, creating unstable timelines, and conflicting with the original rules of time travel. It's a wild ride that shows how messing with time can create all sorts of confusing and contradictory situations.